One of the things that I did want to leave behind is this. For instance, when we go to USA, to London, to England, we go to Jamaica, we go to Cuba, every place where our African ancestors were enslaved, we always find multitudes of our black population. We find the descendants of those enslaved. But here in Portugal, practically you won't find descendants of those enslaved Africans. My question is, what happened to the descendants of enslaved Africans? When we walk on the streets here, yes, we see a good number of black population, but those are not descendants of the enslaved Africans. Those are the offspring of the early immigrants. As we know, the Africans start immigrating here in the 50s, 60s until today. And some of them as well could be descendants of those who served the military, who served the Portuguese army in probably 40s, 30s, something like that. But at that time, it was not slavery anymore. The question is still there. What happened to the descendants of enslaved Africans? After a little research, I came up with three possibilities. Portugal had what they call the integration system, aiming to wipe the black population, really, where the black people were encouraged to marry a white person. So that means that the child born in that marriage will be a mixed or mulatto, like they say. And then this child will marry another white, and so on and on. By the time the fifth or sixth generation comes along, will be no black no more. So that's what Portugal did to wipe out the black population. That's one possibility. Second possibility is that considering that Portugal had, just after slavery, a very brutal regime, and also considering that here in Portugal we find a valley where the black people were thrown to die. Putting those two things together is really easier to really conclude that probably all the descendants of enslaved Africans were unalived by this regime. A lot of countries in the world did. Argentina did. Australia did. All this in order to whiten their societies, including Jamaica, Brazil. They did it. I was told also that the black people left after the slavery, a lot of them immigrate to England, to America, and a good number went back to Africa, to the Portuguese colonies as a merchants or shop owners, and they done well in Africa. Those are the three possibilities here. The return of the Africans to Africa as a merchant, the whitening where the black people were forced to marry a white person in order to be accepted, and those descendants probably were unalived, considering that Portugal was run by a very cruel regime until 1974, and also considering that Portugal had a valley of the black people, a place where they used to throw the black people to die. So those are the things that probably happened to the enslaved Africans. So let's honor our ancestors. Until next time, I say, reconnect.